In the internal part has placed 4 different sensors for different types of pollutants where I live to photo. Hello, thank you for being in a new video. This time we are going to test the Dyson Hot+Cool air purifier. Let's get started. This is an accessory that is still not usually that common in too many homes. However, it has an appealing functionality which is to purify the air just as its name suggests. However, Dyson, we have already seen that it is an expert in everything that has to do with air, and that is why this purifier attracts so much attention. So let's describe it little by little, starting with the design. Since we will find something very particular to virtually all Dyson devices that have to do with air, including some dryers and other similar products. So we have a kind of, or elongated, where we can see that it will circulate the air, and in the base area will be located filters, as there will be, where all the air will be concentrated to then projected on top. Obviously, it is very difficult to see how the air is circulating, but in official Dyson videos where they do all their studies, you can clearly see how all the air will pass through this filter, and that is where they will capture all kinds of viruses and other things that I will tell you in a moment. But for now, I must say that the design, without a doubt, is good. The color is nice, although there may be some variations even in other models, and the material mainly used is plastic. In that sense, there is nothing exaggeratedly premium, and I think that there we could demand a little more since it is an expensive product. Maybe if the base was a little more solid, we could have an experience according to the price. And something you should also know is that this filter does have the ability to recline slightly so that the air can be directed in a different direction. But either way, Dyson has an excellent system that they have tested so that the air can circulate as best as possible. Obviously, if you have an exaggeratedly large room, maybe the air won't be able to go absolutely all the way around. And I think where you can realize this would be when cooling or heating the air, since in addition to purifying it, this model has that little feature that can serve as a kind of portable air conditioner, because through the control, the application, or even through the device itself, you can specify whether you want it to heat or cool. In this sense also, the performance is extremely good, and it catches my attention how it is able to pleasantly heat the whole room. You should know that the first time you turn it on, it is necessary to give it a little time, especially if you suspect that the room may be dusty or there may be viruses or things that cause allergies. As soon as you turn it on, the air will begin to circulate, and obviously it is necessary to give it a little time so that everything passes through the filter before you enter the room. On the inside, it has 4 different sensors for different types of pollutants. Where I live, we fortunately have pretty clean air, but in other places it can also purify all the pollution that circulates in the air. In fact, in the device itself you will find a small screen that will show you in a graph how it is eliminating various pollutants from your air. I insist, in my case, the air is quite clean, so it does not show too much, but it has very good purification capabilities, because at the bottom where the filters are placed, you will find advanced filters. In this case, even EPA-activated carbon filters, so it can even capture pollutant gases and up to 99.97.3 micron particles. So these are ultra-small particles that are going to be trapped in this filter. And obviously, you're going to have to change the filters from time to time, but since Dyson is such an established brand, obviously you're not going to have a problem getting these filters. You might be wondering what specifically this air purifier can capture. So Dyson on their page specifies that this purifier captures dust, allergens and viruses, including SARS-CoV-2, which causes VOCID-19. So in a way, it can also give you some peace of mind knowing that you are breathing clean air. Even if you are visited by several people, you could perfectly well put this air to circulate, because remember that it is not so advisable to be in enclosed places with a large number of people because of the poor air circulation that may come to be. So in those environments could also work perfectly this purifier. Now let's talk a little bit about the controls, because notice that they include a manual control, but it also has its app and even can also be connected to Alexa. So you have very good variety for you to choose your favorite way to control it. For starters, you should know that this control can be attached magnetically on the top, which comes in handy for those moments where you do not know where to place this small accessory. On the control, you will find buttons to turn it on, buttons to control the intensity level of the air circulation as well as the temperature. You could also have an automatic setting, and you could specify if you want this purifier to be rotating or you want it to stay completely static. In addition, it also has options like timers or night mode in case you want to leave it running at night and have it turn off after a certain time, or you want to leave it running all night but without making too much noise. In fact, the noise can become a positive point, although personally I have not tested other purifiers to tell you if it is very noisy or not, but in my case it is not a noise that bothers me, it is a noise that is perceived but not really annoying. In the application, it's going to show you how the air quality is in the place where you live, also the temperature and humidity, in this case of the room where this device is placed, and a little bit more information of the pollutants. Through here, we could get to turn on this device, and as I tell you, we have controls for the intensity of wind circulation, also controls for the temperature, and with this button we could activate the cooling mode instead of the heating mode that I have on at this instant. We can also access the full control in this part, which would show us absolutely all the buttons that the physical control shows us. And if we slide, we can access the graphs that I mentioned to you a moment ago, where we can see the humidity, the temperature, and some of the pollutants of how it's been capturing them throughout the day. So it can also be a useful tool to monitor how the air quality behaves where you live. In the settings, you can set a schedule for the machine to automatically start its work, and you can also access the complete configuration where you can change the temperature unit in case you want to use degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, and also through this application it will show you the remaining life of your filter. In this case, as you can see, it is completely at 100%, and here it gives you the option to access to buy a new one. As you can see in the voice control, in addition to Alexa that I mentioned a moment ago, you could control it through Siri or Google Home. Obviously here it will give you the instructions. I've tested it with Alexa and it works perfectly well. In fact, from the Alexa app, notice how we can also regulate the temperature at which this device is working, as well as the fan speed and a few other things. So overall, I can tell you that I have been quite satisfied with this product. However, I do wish it had the humidifier feature as well. In Dyson's case, there is another very similar product that has humidifier, but it does not have the feature to cool or heat the air. So I find it curious that Dyson would release two models. I wish they would release a single model with the ability to cool and heat the air and also humidifier. At least in my case, you know, when I have a fan or a device like this with air circulating, my nose tends to get a little dry, and in my case it would be great if it also had a humidifier. But unfortunately it doesn't. Hopefully it will be added later. But well, for the moment this has been all for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know you can point it out, and we'll see you next time.